Ready? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gambling and Rambling. This is week, what are we on, 12?
12.
Okay,
12.
I'm losing track. I'm already losing track.
Beasley.
But this is now the Thanksgiving slate. We're only going to go over the 3-game slate on this show, and then we'll break down the main slate in the next one. But starting off, we have the Bears. Well, actually, let's do a quick recap of last week. So we all went 0 for 1 on our locks. So we'll kind of move past that, get rid of the bad. We all pretty much went 500 with Corey going a little over on his overall picks. But the DFS side is really where if you listen to Corey this past week with his Rodgers, that Vikings, Packers, played some Jonathan Taylor, that's what won all of the money in tournaments. Corey had definitely the best day out of all of us there.
Yep. Walked away with, I think it was an $875 day. So
James Conner kind of hurt you right the last minute for like a bigger
payout. I had Gallup. It was going into the end in a free tournament. It was $500 for first place. I took second. I lost to the guy, I think by 9 points. He had Conner. I had Gallup. It was tough to see the Dallas Cowboys offense just sputter, not be able to do anything. So, but we will still take the positive day. Definitely one of my bigger days in the DFS slate. So I was pretty stoked. So
that call, like everyone was on Dylan. Like it was just the perfect leverage. Like we talked about that game for quite a while. So congrats on that. But now we'll go ahead and get into the Thursday game. Starting out, we have the Bears at the Lions. The spread is now at Lions plus 3.5. So, I mean, this is again an ugly game. We have Dalton against, I think Jared Goff's going to be back for this one. I mean, the early game, you just hang out with the family, just glance over at the game. I mean,
it's on in the background. It's on in the background.
This is the game on the background. Don't be watching this one too much. So let's see here. 3.5. Corey, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, like you were saying, this is definitely the game that's on the background. This is the game where
white meat game is what we'll call it.
or this is the game where you have all your family in town and aunts and uncles, and this might be the politic game where this game's on mute and you just speak about politics.
That's what this is.
Yeah, this is a gross game. Over under at 41.5. I mean, the Lions always seem to play better on Thanksgiving. It's crazy. They always seem to put it together, but they've always had a pretty good quarterback for the past 8, 9, 10 years. They're with Matthew Stafford. He's no longer there. It's Jared Goff. So I'm leaning. I don't really want to bet this game, but there's only 3 games to play, so it's like hard not to bet a game. So I think I will be playing every game.
Just have to.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you just have to do it. So I like the Bears here on the road, getting the minus. What do we say? 3.5.
3.5.
I'll take the Bears minus 3.5. I think Andy Dalton, he looked good coming in. The Lions' run defense is terrible. Montgomery seems to be back. He seems to be healthy. So I like that. But that's not really play. Yeah, that's the only play I have.
Yeah.
I think we at least know Matt Nagy is really, you can count on him when he's about to get fired. There's already reports out of Chicago saying this will be his last game as the Bears head coach. So I kind of like him and the Red Rocket leading the way for a final send-off here for the Bears.
The Red Rocket.
That's what I call him too.
Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket. If you don't know, that's his nickname. Mainly because he gets everyone excited. And he also has red hair. But I think David Montgomery comes back. And, I got to watch the Lions last week against the Browns. They could be beat by, I'm thinking, at least 15 college football teams right now. They're really bad. They don't even look like they really try. DeAndre Swift kind of runs all over the place, and he definitely tries really hard, but like effort wise, like I don't see it. I don't think they are going to win any football games. Let them get that first pick and ruin someone else's career. Give me the Bears -3.
3.5.
Yeah.
3.5. Either way.
I mean, there's not much to go over with this game. This is going to be a bad one. I'm not even looking forward to watching this. Bears going into Detroit. I think that Justin Fields is going to have a better and prolonged career after Matt Nagy is out of there. However, I think that while Matt Nagy is in there, Andy Dalton actually does give the Bears a better chance to win. Like, I just think that his kind of, accuracy, short passes,
the system.
Yeah. I think he fits in better with Nagy, and I think that the Bears are playing better than the Browns against the Lions in this game. I know the Browns only beat them by 3. I think that the Bears can beat them by more than 3.5. So I'll lay the points, take the Bears -3.5 here in a stinker, an absolute stinker.
Yeah, definitely a stinker of a game. I am on the Lions, however, +3.5. I think I probably said I'd never touch this team again. However, this is like one of the shortest weeks that NFL teams get, where they don't even get to wait till Thursday night to play. Like, they're playing super early on Thursday on a very short week. And I'm just going to, Jared Goff is playing, which is still an upgrade from Tim Boyle. So I think
he didn't look that bad.
What?
He didn't really look that bad.
Tim Boyle?
Yeah.
He was more
accurate
bad.
than
I think
Baker.
he had 2 interceptions and 80 yards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Browns pass defense is pretty good. So
yeah. He looked
They honestly need to just sign Jarvis at quarterback. That was like the best play of the entire game.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But yeah, I'm going to take the Lions +3.5 on a short week at home on Thanksgiving. I think those fans will be wild. And I think the Lions do get, like, if you look at their schedule, like, if they can't win this game, like, they might just not win a game this year. So yeah. I think this is like their one victory. So I think they could actually win this, not just cover. So I don't know. I think especially at the 3.5, not even the 3, I like the Lions. But
it is on FanDuel right now. Not to interrupt, but on FanDuel it's now 3.
Okay, so if you're betting Bears, bet on FanDuel.
Yeah.
And just also to clarify, we're gonna first go through the bet side of everything, and then we'll come back to the DFS side. I don't want to get into both at the same time. I think it probably could get a little confusing. And any play, because player props are also on the betting side. Any player props from this game that anyone likes or had?
If we're looking right now, David Montgomery is slated for over 74.5. That's pretty high.
That's a high number.
DeAndre Swift on the other side is at 62.5 for rushing. Receiving props, because there really is, if Jared Goff is playing, I will take DeAndre Swift's receiving yards, because I think he's utilized more as a receiver when Goff is playing. And right now that's at 33.5. I like that number, especially with the game script of it being, I don't know, like kind of a tight game, back and forth maybe. I like DeAndre Swift at the over 33.5.
Also, give me anytime touchdown score, DeAndre Swift +100. That's easy, even money for sure.
Wow.
I know it's not even money, and usually I don't like these types, especially at -140. But I mean, the Lions are so bad against the run, and Montgomery, since coming back from that injury, has played like 95 and 90% of the snaps. They're going to get some opportunities in their red zone, and Montgomery is going to get all the touches there. And I do like him at -140.
He's -140 on DraftKings.
FanDuel, he's -185.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Yeah. So I bet that. So
that's
a good one.
You usually don't see that on.
That is quite a discrepancy there. So I don't know. I think as it gets closer, that might go up. And I honestly I know 77.5 is a lot, but I mean, the Bears game plan is going to rely on Montgomery this game. And I see him, we'll get into DFS, but I absolutely love Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
What is, just out of curiosity, what is anytime touchdown for Swift on DraftKings?
It's like minus 105 or something. So it's like, yeah, it's better on FanDuel if you get plus 100, but
I mean, it's only like $5 extra, but
yeah.
Every time matters.
I know. All right, let's move on.
Let's get off this dumpster fire of a game. So next game we have is Vegas at Dallas. The line is now at Cowboys minus 7.5. We'll start with Nick on this one. What do you have here?
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to win this game, but 7.5 is a lot of points. I think Raiders kind of, were sputtering there for a little bit, and they looked decent last week. Cowboys really got to show some firepower again after that really bad Chiefs game. It was funny. Everyone was expecting that to be like the shootout of the century, and they barely broke 10 points. So definitely disappointing to see that offense sputter, but without Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, I really like the Raiders side in this one. 7.5 points, kind of a prime time game. I think everyone at this point in the day is going to have some turkey. It's going to be a little bit slower. They're feeling the those extra sides at this point. So I like the Raiders.
I don't think they're eating turkey before or sides before.
A lot of stuffing. I mean, those linemen have to eat before a game. Have you ever seen any of them? They're huge.
Yeah, but they're waiting for the turkey legs at the end of the game. They give that stupid award on Fox. It's like the turkey leg player of the day. I mean, I think the Cowboys are still one of the better teams in the NFC. The Raiders looked promising against the Bengals, and a lot of us were on the Raiders last week. Just because of the way that line moved very quickly to the Bengal side. But for this game, like what Nick was saying, the Cowboys came out and their offense did absolutely nothing. The Chiefs defense did look, they have looked a lot better in the last. That
was their best game this year for sure.
Oh, easily their best game. Cowboys, like Nick said, they're without CD or possibly without CD, definitely without Amari. So they have, their weaponry is a little bit on the downside this week, but at home, again, we've seen these teams like the Lions and Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving. Both those teams always come out and perform for the most part, and they do well. And I just think Cowboys here, they have to win this game again to stay within contention of first place in the NFC. If they have any, shot at doing that, they have to win this game. So I'm taking Cowboys minus 7.5.
Alex?
This is a tough one. I really just don't like the Raiders at all. I mean, they are who they've always been. I mean, they're a great first half team, and then they just fall apart. And with everything else this year on top of that, it makes it hard to bet with this team. I think Dallas at home on Thanksgiving gets it done. I think they cover the 7.5. In terms of player props here, just pulling this up, I like Cedric Wilson plus 155 anytime touchdown scorer. I actually also might take a flyer on Dak plus 400 anytime touchdown scorer. I think he might be able to sneak one in here. A little read option with Zeke. And then
calling it down to the play.
Yeah, if you want to get crazy here, first touchdown scorer Zeke at plus 500, I think is worth sprinkling something on.
Well, he's banged up though.
He's banged up, but I think if the Raiders get the ball, I think the Cowboys defense is good enough to give them a stop. And if the Cowboys get the ball first, I could see them marching down the field a little bit. At home, again, I think they cover that 7.5.
Yeah, they got to come out with a splash. So I definitely like that bet a lot too. I was actually leaning more on the Dalton Schultz side, just given, receivers are out. I think I think he's going to have a lot of targets this game, and they're going to want to start him early and kind of get him off to a hot start. So that's where I'm putting my money for first touchdown score.
I am going to be I'm on the Raiders here at plus 7.5. I don't like the Raiders at all either. I think they're not a great team. However, the Cowboys are extremely, I guess not banged up. They just have these COVID, and Lamb is probably not going to play. And, those are Dak's guys. And, another short week. I like the 7.5, but then I also like the first half Raiders plus 4.5. I think that's a really good value because, Cowboys score a touchdown and Raiders score a field goal and you're covering that still. I think getting the first half there, especially how, you said Raiders come out strong in the first half and kind of, just fall apart. That's why I'm still taking both because I still think the Raiders can still cover that 7.5. But I do like that 4.5 in the first half a lot. And then I love one of the player props that I really, really like is Tony Pollard over 13.5 reception yards.
That's
think
that's a low number for him. Yeah.
He's hit that in 7 out of his 10 games that he's played. So it's a 70% hit rate there. And that's with Amari and Lamb in there playing most of the games. You have the Raiders who are actually pretty solid against receivers. So you're going to see Dak, you're going to see the running backs more involved. I think Pollard's role really steps up here. And the running backs are weaker against the run. Remember we saw, Darrell Williams a couple games ago. He had like 9 catches for like 100 yards. The Raiders give up those checkdowns quite a bit. So I really, really like, he could get that in 1 catch.
That's one good play. Yeah. I like that bet a lot.
Yeah. So I'm on that one. And then I really like Darren Waller, anytime touchdown scorer at plus 175, I believe. Let me see if that's right.
45 on FanDuel, so it's 5.
What is he on FanDuel?
145.
Yeah, you can get him at plus 175 on DraftKings, and Dalton Schultz anytime touchdown score at plus 170.
Yeah, again, that's very odd because those two are very similar, and especially with Dalton Schultz. I'm surprised he's so high on DraftKings.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's that like I saw those two guys I looked at. Even Pollard's plus 175. Like, I don't know. I think those are some great anytime touchdown score bets. Yeah. Zeke at minus 190, I wouldn't touch that, even if he is likely to score. I think those are, and both these teams are terrible against tight ends.
Yeah.
Waller hasn't scored in like 8 games. I think he has a huge game here. But yeah, those are my favorite props of this game.
Nice.
So now we'll go ahead and get to the last game before we get into the DFS side, and that is the Buffalo Bills at my New Orleans Saints. The line is now at Bills -6. So we'll start with Alex here.
Oh, you don't want to start?
I can start if you want.
Right.
If you want.
Let's just get it out of the way.
Take it away. Take it away, bud.
All right. Well, man, this is going to be the toughest one I've had to make because, the Saints are banged up. Like, everybody, like now Ingram might not play. Our left tackle still might not play. Kamara's not going to play probably. It's just an absolute dumpster fire. It's terrible in New Orleans right now. Like, our team is running out like 3rd and 4th string offensive linemen. It's tough. With that being said, Taysom Hill is coming back, and I think with Ingram's, who knows if he plays, but he's banged up regardless. I think with him coming back, it adds enough for the offense. They still haven't announced a starter. Who knows if Peyton's just trying to like hide his hand and he announces Taysom as the starter and the Bills are surprised by it and he has his whole game plan. I never underestimate Sean Payton, and especially on a short week here. The Bills just put up a dud against the Colts. Most people would call this a bounce back spot, but this is my justification for this one is going to be a fade the public game. This is going to be going into Sunday night, whether people lost money, won money, they're going to go into this so confident the Bills are going to cover, and they're going to get so much of the bet tickets. And I don't know, prime time Drew Brees is coming back. Fans are going to be crazy. I think this is going to be a game. If the Saints cover this, it's going to be because of the defense. And I'm taking the Saints +6 here.
I'm glad to hear you think the Saints will win because Drew Brees will be in attendance. That's a strong vote of confidence from you this week, PB.
It's tough. It's tough to put some justification, but this is, just like some of those previous games when you thought the Rams and 49ers, when that line you thought was fishy, and the Packers line against the Bengals early in the season, people thought it was fishy. A lot of people would look at this like there's no way the Bills aren't going to win by more than a touchdown and it just, it become a backdoor cover and Saints cover.
Yeah,
but it will be
I
very,
think
very. I will say this: it's going to be very tough for the Saints to win this. I will admit it.
Yeah,
but I think they could get it back.
I think the one thing you do have going for you, I think Trevor Siemian has looked like the Saints' best quarterback this season. He's put up like 2 pretty decent games.
You're just dumb for that. Go ahead.
I mean, I think that's not going to be enough. I honestly don't think the Saints will win a game or really have a chance until Kamara comes back. The Bills have to win. Like they came into the season as a Super Bowl contender. They had one mission, and that was to win a Super Bowl. We've kind of seen them stumble.
That was just their mission. No other team had that mission.
I'm just saying that was their main objective. Like that they had one focus coming into the year.
They had a team.
We're not talking about other teams.
They're a team that could get it
right.
done.
The Bills wanted to win a Super Bowl. Their team specifically. Okay. No, other teams just kind of.
I'm just talking about their morale and what's going on in the locker room and what's being talked about. So, right, like they're second place in their division against a red hot Patriots team. This is a must-win situation where they can't be messing around with.
Is it not a
just kind of lingering around?
Though?
What?
Is it not a must-win for the Saints? You act like it's a must-win for one of the teams.
But I don't think you have a legitimate chance. So like I think you're kind of just like hanging on for dear life and like trying to make it work and put up a good showing.
We are hanging on for dear life. We are.
Just what's happened, like you were saying, with all the injuries this year. If you had Kamara, I think this could be a different story. But give me the Bills -6. Don't think this is going to be a close one.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to read the stat off before we started going over the Thanksgiving games, but I kind of forgot to look it up. Thanksgiving favorites since 2005 are 32-14 against the spread. That's it, either it goes against people were saying it's short week. Teams, you rather take points on short weeks just because you have a better, teams have a better chance. Start slow, blah blah blah. Bad teams can get ahead early, but I don't think this is the spot where the Saints can get ahead early, just for the fact that one, Bills offense compared to the Saints offense is night and day. The Bills defense might be a smidge behind the Saints at where they are. And I believe the Saints aren't missing anyone on defense. Am I correct?
No, that's one side of the ball. Well, no, I mean, Gardner Johnson has been banged up, but I mean,
you see the reason Jalen Hurts ran 4 touchdowns on them last week?
Everyone's banged up. So, but
Vonta had
it's the offense. It's the Saints' offense. I do think adding Taysom Hill back is a pretty bigger boost than people think, though.
Okay, well, we can sit here till you're blue in the face, talk about Taysom Hill worth the $44 million you just paid him. But with that being said, I just think the only reason this line is where it's at, I think, because the Saints are, if this was switched and the Bills were at home, I think this would be a higher, over under or
Over
sorry,
a
higher
touchdown.
spread. Yeah, I think it.
Yeah, it would be like -9.
Exactly. So why? Just because the team's at home, I don't.
Yes, the home is worth points. Correct.
Generally 2 points.
Yeah. So
yeah, between 2 and 3, depending
but
on
what I'm
the-
saying is I just don't think the Saints have enough firepower to keep up with the Bills, especially after what happened. Josh Allen is, came in this year as leading candidate for MVP. He's sputtered out. The Bills' offense is sputtered out. I think this is a bounce back spot for the Bills. So give me Bills -6.
Yeah, here I'm in agreement here with you guys, Nick and Corey. I think Bills -6 is the play, but the bet for this game, the Bills winning margin 4-way, Bills win by between 1 and 13 points is +135. I absolutely love that. I think that's a great play because I do think there's a world where the Saints at home make it a 3-point game. I don't think that they win, but I think that there's a chance that they keep it under a touchdown. I also absolutely love the under on this game. I think that part of why the Saints have a chance at covering, I don't think my pick is still Bills -6. I think the Saints have a chance at covering because I think the under is like, I might take an alternate total at like under 40 points, maybe even under 36.5. Like it's this game is gonna be a absolute snooze fest. I think the Cowboys Raiders game is going to be the only game that any sort of points are put up on Thanksgiving.
Alex, I want to ask you something here.
Let's hear it.
If you're a franchise owner right now and you had to pick between the Bills and the Eagles offense, who are you going with?
In terms of like next 5 years, next 10 years type shit?
Just this season to play a game.
This season right now?
Yeah, just to play one game.
Nick, why is this even a question?
Hold on. We're getting there.
Still Bills. Still the Bills.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And we saw the Eagles put up 40 points on this same exact defense last week. I'm just afraid of that under because we've seen when the Bills have good games, they have tremendously good games. And they're putting up huge points. And I think we just saw some vulnerability. And what we saw all last week from PB was saying the Saints defense is on the field the entire game. They're tired. They're not going to be able to play at that same level. And I think the same sort of narrative happens here again. So I'm kind of afraid of that under bet.
Really? You think that the Bills figure it out after these past 3 weeks have just been, they haven't put up more than 16 points?
No,
Yeah.
no, because they put up like 46.
Yeah, they played that.
Oh, you're right. But
it was like bad games.
It's the Jets. It's the Jets. We don't really.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
No, they put up 9 against the Jags.
Yeah.
No, 6.
They've had really bad
6,
games.
right?
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. So,
but then there's also games they're putting up, it's like 40-0 against the Texans. So it's like they're a very hard team to predict. Like it's very hot and cold over there. But I just think this has to be a hot game for them, just given where they sit in the division. It's like backs against the wall mentality, I think, for them because they're going for it all. So
yeah,
I
love getting.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Pete. I was just gonna say I love getting plus money at the winning margin between 1 and 13. Yeah. Like that feels really good.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, then I'll go ahead.
No, go. It's all good. We don't need to keep going.
I was just gonna say, does anyone have player props from this game? Because I think I have one here.
Taysom Hill anytime touchdown scores at +400 on FanDuel.
Is he for sure gonna play?
It's +500 on DraftKings, and I bet that. I think that is an incredible bet, especially with Kamara is going to be out. Ingram is banged up and is probably going to have like Tony Jones. I think is going to get activated, so they'll have a little bit more.
Who are they going to throw the ball to?
Kevin White.
They're gonna throw the same guys. I mean, Troutman's out now. He's out for the season.
Yeah,
but
like they literally have nobody.
Jawan Johnson's he's kind of a freak. So they're gonna probably have to go through. But the Bills are good against tight ends. It's gonna be tough to throw. The run we saw the weakness of the Bills is they don't have many weaknesses, but it's better to run against them to pass against them. And I do think Taysom Hill, he practiced in full, and he's going to have a much bigger role this week, I think. And around the goal line, I think they're going to go to him this game. And at plus 500, I remember I forget how many weeks ago when he did play and I called it. He was at plus 400 or something that time when I called it, and I'm calling it this time. He's going to score here at plus 500.
He's plus 2,500 for first time touchdown scorer.
On DraftKings, it's plus 2,800.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a little pizza.
That's definitely
that's a little sprinkle bet, but I do like the actual just and people love doing those same game parlays on especially in that nighttime game. Everyone's gonna be doing those same game parlays. Throw anytime touchdown score and watch how high your odds go up with all the other stuff you put in there.
I like Dawson Knox for anytime touchdown score.
No, the Saints. I will say one thing: Dawson Knox isn't doing anything. I'll tell you. Well, we're about to get into fantasy, and I'll explain who you should play on the Bills against the Saints. But are you guys ready to go into DFS now that we kind of
one last thing here? The 3-player rushing totals for the Bills. Josh Allen's over-under is 30.5 yards. Devin Singletary's is 23.5, and Zach Moss is 21.5.
Yeah, the Saints are good against the run.
Well,
I know, but takes 2 runs for one of those 2 running backs.
But Breida
2 first downs
now. It's a 3-headed committee.
I know.
I'm just saying those seem low.
The Bills had 6 total runs by the running backs last week.
They don't run.
Game script though.
That was game.
They were down immediately.
I know.
But you attack the Saints in the passing game, and like the Bills, I think are at least smart enough to know. I know the Eagles are an outlier, but if you look at the season, Saints are amazing against the run. Mobile quarterbacks maybe are a bit better. So if you were to take one over, maybe it's Josh Allen, but at 34.5, that is still a little high, but that's the only one I'd take.
I'm with you, Alex. Back to what I was saying, the stamina game is going to come into play here, and the first ones to lose their breath are those big old linemen. So I like the run props there too as well.
They just seem kind of low. I know that it's
20 yards. That's a couple rushes
play and all that, and the Saints defense. But
so who are you picking though? Are you taking them both? Like you're gonna probably lose.
I'd take all 3 of those. Parlay those puppies together.
I don't know about that, but I think if you pick the right one, you're gonna make some money. I think at least one of the 3 goes over.
I mean, do you think the Bills could rush for 70
if you bet all
yards?
3 and one of them goes over, you lose money.
All right, so if a gun to my head, got to make a choice, I'll take Zach Moss over 21.5.
Okay.
All right.
Let's move into the DFS slates.
Yep. Moving into DFS. We'll go game by game again. This one's going to be this DFS slate. We're going to have to talk a little bit more about strategy. Yeah, we'll talk about the plays, but a lot of like the Thanksgiving slate strategy based on how you construct your lineups more than the actual players. So first we'll start off in this Chicago-Detroit game. We'll start with Corey. You were the DFS guy you had the calls from last week, so we'll go to you first.
Why don't you just run this segment?
Everyone tune in right now. Everyone tune in right now.
Well, for this first game, there's only really a couple plays that I feel comfortable with going out there and throwing. I think one in this game, one of these Detroit Lions receivers is going to be in the winning lineup this week. I think with where they're priced. So you got
Raymond
4.6. Then you have Cyphers is on IR. You have Benson who's banged up, and then
it's the 3. It's Amar and St. Brown. It's Josh Reynolds, and it's Khalif Raymond.
Okay, I didn't realize he even had
Josh Reynolds.
Josh
from the
Reynolds.
Rams.
Plays for the Rams.
Yeah.
He was Titans drop, Rams drop, I think. Then he was he's now on the.
So
Put it this way, they also have Cardell Hodge, who is the Browns like fifth stringer.
Yeah. So
don't go there.
So what I'm saying is, though, at their price range, I think there might be one in there that you can maybe be a sneaky play. Don't get don't get cute with it. If you're making 15 lineups, say 15, play 2 or 3 where you have one of these one of these Lions receivers in there, because I think there will be, a portion where someone will score a touchdown and get like 14, 15 points, which, we've seen in the past at that price range. It really helps with the rest of your lineup build at 3,000. So I like that. And then obviously running backs, either running back is a great choice.
Montgomery's only 6K.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. PB was touching earlier on his production and how much he's touching the ball and how much he runs to the offense at 6K, and someone's getting that many opportunities. I mean, he's a must. I think he has to be a lineup as well. But this is not a play. Obviously, this is definitely not a play. But do you guys remember like 2 or 3 years ago when the Lions, Matthew Stafford was ruled out like 2 days before the game, and they put in David Blau and he threw for like 500 yards and like 3 touchdowns.
Giant Thanksgiving game.
He's still on their team. Like, can we see a David Blau sighting, please?
Because he's not coming in. It's Jared Goff. Like, if Jared Goff's back, he's playing.
I want to play a David Blau lineup just for the hell of it. But yeah, there's the only place I had.
I like the Montgomery play too. But as far as cheap receivers in this game, I think Marquise Goodwin is kind of a fun one. $3,800. He put up 23 points last week, 104 yards, touchdown, 4 receptions. If Allen Robinson is out, I think he could maybe get 4 or 5 catches again. I don't know if he puts up 20 plus points, but maybe 10 or 15. I think that's kind of realistic if you have to play a cheap receiver. But yeah, I think Montgomery and DeAndre Swift are the only ones I'm seriously considering here.
Montgomery is the one player I think in all 3 of these games that I'm playing 150 lineups as I do, and I'm putting him in, I think, all 150. I think he's the best running back play on the slate going against the worst running defense on the slate. Just complete, what we would call a workhorse. He hasn't been getting targets as much recently, like 2 and 1, but like earlier in the season, we saw him get 4 in a few games. I think that might go up here against the Lions.
He'll get more with Dalton playing too.
Yeah, with Dalton playing as well. But my biggest thing from this game is not so much the plays, because, it's Swift. He's a good play. Some of these Lions receivers are fine, but I'm going to make it a rule to where I don't think I'm playing either of the quarterbacks in this game. I'm going to save that for the later games. And I think I'm just going to make it a rule where I just play a max of one of these receivers in a lineup. And I think what's underutilized on these short slates, especially the Thanksgiving slate, where you get one game and then you can adjust your lineup, and then the second game, and then you can still change your lineup, and then there's a third game, is utilizing late swap. A lot of people on Thanksgiving are going to play casually. They're going to set their lineup, and then they're not going to make adjustments. If you are stacking up, let's say you like Andy Dalton or Jared Goff, like you're trying to be different, you stack that game up, and you hit a few pieces, but like maybe you have like a snowflake in one of your pieces where like you're not going to win a tournament probably with that. You need to start pivoting off of those higher owned plays in the later games and get real different so you can make up that ground. And so I think my strategy specifically is, since I'm fading the quarterbacks from this game, is I'm playing Montgomery, and then I'm going to make sure I have at least one. Like, I'm going to play Raymond, Mooney, like St. Brown, Marquise Goodwin, Reynolds. And if I hit on just one of those players and all the different lines I make, if Montgomery and one of them do well, I still have all the rest of the games to play like all the good plays. So that I think that's going to be really underutilized is utilizing late swap. So, that's my biggest recommendation on this slate. And it's good that the bad game is first because you only have to play a few plays. And if you just nail those, you can go on to the next game and try to hit a few more and keep swapping on and off players as you need. What do you guys think about that?
That's pretty interesting. I like the risk diversion strategy. I guess one question for you, say you go and swap out some other players, do you then go and kind of play those boom or bust guys, or, where are you pivoting to?
Yeah. So like, for example, if you played if I played Montgomery and let's say Marquise Goodwin or something from this game, and Marquise Goodwin had a 0, that's going to be really tough now to win a tournament. Like, even if you are pivoting off of it, but there's no way you can just play if Lamb's out, Gallup is going to be like the highest owned receiver. Like, you probably wouldn't want, you're going to want to get real different. So you're going to want to play I don't know, Kenyon Drake. You're going to want to play, you're just going to want to start pivoting to some of the lower owned plays. You're not completely dead though if you only miss on one, but if you have two, if you built a lineup and you have 2 snowflakes in this game, then yeah, you're gonna want to make the rest of your lineup pretty unique. And you're gonna want to play the players that have that ceiling. So I'm trying to think of a different, in the Las Vegas Dallas game, maybe you go to Malik Turner at 3K, he'll be low owned. You just have to get different. Because you're just dead if you don't. If you just stay on the good plays that everyone else is going to.
One of my things that, especially for these the Thanksgiving games, these 3 of them, is kind of reminds me of how people play, or how you can play NBA slates. Is you pick one game and you play 95% of your lineup for one game, because a lot of people. It's a very risky play to do, because
it's not you can do you could probably do 6 players from a game, but when you start getting over that, then you're missing out on some of, because at least, even if that Lions Bears game is a dud, there's probably at least one player that's going to outscore the 7th player in a complete game stack.
It could be. If the final score is 13-6. If 3 people score different touchdowns and they're less than 5 yards, you may
but both games would kind of have to do that.
No, definitely. What I'm saying is it's a very risky thing to do, but it definitely could be, something to look out to be extremely different. Like we talked about last week with that Chiefs Cowboys game, is the over under was 56, and everyone and their mother was playing. I don't know, 4 players from that game. Everyone is highly owned. And if you pivot off of it, you won money, which in my case I did, but I'm not saying that works every week, but with a low over under of, what is it, 42, 41 for this Bears Lions game. It's just, I don't know. It's a very risky thing. I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you have the bankroll to do it and you're just throwing away, fun coupons. But other than that,
yeah, I do think it's worth doing at least a couple of lineups like that. And I think the next game is the game to do it on.
Yeah, I would too. If it would probably be that Vegas Dallas game.
Yeah.
So
and the second thing that I just want to, just before we go and talk about the plays, it's more of a construction standpoint. I've done a lot in previous Thanksgiving slates, research on how the biggest leverage you can have on winning lineups. And if in these short slates, you should not be playing a quarterback with just one pass catcher. Whatever quarterback you play, you just need to make it a rule to where you at least get 2 of them, and you can include a running back as a pass catcher if they're catching passes. So I don't know, Dak, Zeke, and Cedric Wilson is just an example. But the biggest leverage is if you playing 3. And that's and what I've seen is playing a running back, a receiver, and their tight end. is some of the biggest leverage that you can have. So that's just one little like nugget of information, because you really want to capture all of the upside from whatever quarterback you play.
If that's the case too, I don't know how I'm saying this right now, but I don't hate Swift, Hawkinson, and then, throw a dart at a Lions wide receiver.
Yeah. So like if you played Goff, that would be kind of something you'd want to do.
Yeah.
I don't trust it though. I definitely don't trust it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if we are fading this kind of early game, like we play Montgomery or whatever, because it's a lot like that's going to be one of the highest home plays. If this game shoots out, you're dead. Like everyone, if you didn't play Dalton or Goff, and that you're just shut your. I mean, you can watch the games for fun, but like you lost. You're not winning anything.
You better start throwing money into the showdown sites for the next game, because
you're just at that point you're just going to the showdown
mode,
and that's it. Or the next best option is if those games shoot out, you're basically pivoting. You're not playing any Dak, you're not playing any Josh Allen, and you have to play Trevor Siemian. You have to, and it might if that early game shoots out, you're every single lineup you made with Dak and Josh Allen. Derek Carr will be the third highest owned. You pivot all of that to Simeon and hope that he makes up the rest of your lineup, and that Bills Saints game shoots out. That's what you do for game theory.
Besides puking in my mouth with this Trevor Siemian call, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, from a purely game theory standpoint, that's what you would have to do to not be burning your money.
All right, let's move on to the Dallas game, because I think there's gonna be a lot of plays from here that we can help people out and win some money here. So
this is definitely the game to play on Thursday.
This is what the over under on this is, the highest at 51. Yeah. So I would love to see a stat of the year, anything that's over 50 points on the year, like how many times it's gone over. So I feel like every time it's set for like something like that, it just doesn't go over, and it's an under game. But this is a game where I think the Cowboys explode. It looks like Zeke is not carrying any injury tag into this week. I don't know what designates as an injury if you sit out half a practice or whatever it might be. But he's the highest person on the slate, the entire slate. Yeah, he's at 8,000 at the highest, which is kind of interesting. But so I like Zeke at 8K, especially if the Cowboys are without their two top receiving options. I think that they rely heavily on him and Tony Pollard, but Tony Pollard at 5,600 is just that's I think it's way too high for a backup running back who you're splitting carries with, who he does catch the ball in the backfield, but I don't know if his ceiling's quite there at that price tag. So I get a little worried there. And I just think the Cowboys at home on Thanksgiving is a wagon. So I love Dak as well. So, I mean, we've talked about it beforehand that a lot of people are going to be playing Dak and Josh Allen. But it's going to be hard to pass him up if you think he's going to put up a 30 point game in fantasy, which I think he could do. So.
Yeah. Also, someone that you probably want to play in cash, but maybe not tournaments here, is Cedric Wilson at 3.5K.
He'll be very popular if Lamb does miss, which he's likely to. Wilson will be Gallup will be the highest owned receiver if Lamb's out, but Wilson will be up there.
Yeah.
So I actually do have ownership projections for this whole slate. If we're curious on
let's run through it.
Well, I was just like, if you name a player, I can at this point.
What's Wilson at?
Wilson, this is with I think this is with Lamb projected out at almost 40%.
Yeah. So I think a great cash play at that price tag.
Yeah.
If he's going to be the wide receiver 2 in that game, which I think we're all in agreement that is the one game that has a chance to explode. Even if it doesn't hit that 51 mark, it's probably going to be the highest scoring game on the slate. So in cash, I think that's a great play, because then you can fit in a guy like Zeke maybe, or one of these higher higher plays. A Darren Waller at 6.4K and a Dak or something like that. But that would be my go-to in cash here.
So I'm gonna play the Derek Carr, Darren Waller stack in my Millie Maker, but I'm having a hard time picking that third guy that we talked about.
So you're gonna stack probably with just two of his pass catchers? Because I'm on the same side as you. Derek Carr is going to be my highest leverage quarterback on this list.
Yeah, I think we've seen Josh Jacobs put up a consistent 10 to 15 points. I just don't think that's what wins you a Millie Maker. So I think given that and the game script, they're going to have to pass a lot to keep up with that juggernaut offense I think we see of the Cowboys this week. I like the pass catchers a lot more. I think maybe a Hunter Renfrow is probably what I'm most comfortable with. But again, we talk a lot about leverage. I just don't know that we'll get that much leverage with that pick.
Well, your leverage is more on Carr because right now the quarterbacks, it's projected Josh Allen's going to be over 30, Dak will be 25 plus, maybe 30 plus, and then Carr will be around 20, and then it really drops off. It's like Dalton, then Goff, and Simeon. Mm-hmm. But if you're playing Derek Carr, lock Waller into your lineup. I just don't see he is the best matchup on the Raiders side. He's, I think, the best tight end play and one of the best overall plays on the slate. I've considered locking him into every single lineup, but I do like Dalton Schultz as well.
Schultz isn't going to be bad either.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm allowing 2 tight end bills. I actually like that a lot, playing both of them in the same lineup. Mm-hmm. But, like I said, some of the biggest leverage you can get on these short slates is quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and just capturing as much upside from an offense as you can. And if I'm playing Dak in a Dak lineup, I'm probably going like Dak, Zeke, or Pollard, because I actually do like Pollard quite a bit with Zeke being banged up. I think Pollard gets a lot more work than people might think.
Well, hang on, before you keep going. With that being said, I would be more concerned with Zeke if he didn't return that game and play. I know he was limited, but
Zeke probably plays.
I'm not saying he's not going to play, but
okay,
the fact that he was able to come back after it looked like a bad injury and still play in the game. So I don't know. I get worried about it.
It's one of those things that I think mid-game can flare up, and then Pollard gets all the workload the rest. Yeah. And if Zeke's ruled out, Pollard will be in 100% of my lineups. He would become the best overall play on the entire slate. In my opinion, he should be 100% owned, but he wouldn't be. He'd be like probably 60, 70, maybe a little bit more. And I think the people that don't play him are just dumb. Like he'd be an absolutely incredible play.
The DFS backup running back when the starter's ruled out is just absolute money, right?
Yeah, and especially for the Madisons and the people,
the guys who are competent. Yeah.
Yeah.
The competent backups.
Pollard's the best backup in the entire league. So, I mean, he should be playing over Zeke. He's way better than Zeke. So, if you're playing Dak, you could go like Dak, Pollard. If Lamb's out, you could play like Gallup and then Dalton Schultz. So, like in all my Dak builds, I'm going to do something like that. I think because I don't like the running backs on the Buffalo and I don't like Dawson Knox, if I play Josh Allen, it would probably be like 2 of his receivers because we know Josh Allen's mobile as well. So he can run a couple and he's kind of like the running back in a sense. So you can get away with doing like Josh, Diggs, Beasley. But I don't like the running back, wide receiver, tight end build, specifically with Josh Allen. But we're not even in that game. But yeah, I like more. I think this slate in particular is more about game theory and strategy than it is like individual plays, in my opinion. So that's why I'm kind of talking about that. But I'm gonna play a bunch of guys from this game. This is my favorite game on the slate. But I do like the Raiders side more.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we do have a revenge game here on the Raiders side. and I'll give someone, a couple bucks here if you can name the player on the Raiders going against the Cowboys. He used to be a Cowboy.
Zay Jones.
No, not Zay Jones.
Zay Jones was on the Bills.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is it? No, not Deshaun.
I was gonna say Deshaun was never on that team.
I'm actually curious now. I don't know, who is it.
Peyton Barber.
You cannot play Peyton Barber here. Josh Jacobs and
I know I'm not. I was just, it was a little trivia question.
Oh, okay.
Peyton Barber revenge game.
Like you can't even play
he gets
him
0 carries in his revenge game.
Not even in a showdown slate at 200. I think I wouldn't play Peyton Barber.
No, definitely not. All right, let's get to the next fun game here on the last game of the slate, the Bills versus the New Orleans Saints. So we've been talking about, stacking PBs. Already kind of go into his stacks with Josh Allen. So PB, just continue with what you were saying when before you realized we weren't even on this game.
Yeah, so I'm saying since I don't like the running backs and tight ends, this is one, and I think that the receivers have the better matchup to begin with against the Saints. Doing like, I'd still play 2 of them, so I would be like Josh Allen, Diggs, Sanders, or Josh Allen, Diggs, Beasley, Allen, Beasley, Sanders. Those would be the combinations I would do.
Talk about a revenge game with Cole Beasley.
Sanders.
Both of them. Cole Beasley was on the Cowboys too.
Saints.
We're not on that
Saints.
game.
Oh, we're on the Saints Bills.
Jesus.
So yeah,
Sanders.
I think Manny Sanders might have. It's the wide receiver 2s against the Saints that have had the best matchup because
What's his
Lattimore,
projected?
What his projected ownership?
Yeah,
it's pretty solid for Sanders and Beasley.
30%.
Beasley is like 36+%, but Emmanuel Sanders is. I don't know why I can't pull his up. I don't know. This is not loading properly, so I'm not sure what. Oh, wait. I'm on the wrong page. I don't know.
While you're looking that up, who's going to start at running back for the Saints?
Right. So it's Ingram if he's healthy. If not, it's Tony Jones. And him at 4K, if Ingram and him are out, is a great play just because of salary. It's a bad matchup. But I'm playing Tony Jones at 4K in quite a few lineups.
Are you playing Taysom at all?
Only if he's announced as the starter, I'm going to be playing a lot of them.
Yeah, but otherwise,
no, you can't play Taysom as a non-starter in a quarterback spot. He's not going to. It would be nearly impossible for him to outscore the other guys. But I think Diggs on Lattimore, Diggs is going to be really popular. So he might be my bigger fade of the day, kind of where I make a stand. He could absolutely, I have bad memories of that Minnesota miracle, or I have bad memories of that. But
could you remind us what exactly happened there?
Yeah, I can't.
We don't need to go into that, but
that's when Diggs became Diggs.
Yeah. But
last second catch, playoffs. I don't know.
I think I'm making it a rule to play one of Sanders, Beasley, or Gabriel Davis in like every lineup because I do think one of them, like they're very cheap, and I think one of them gets to that 15+, maybe 20+ mark. And so even in lineups I don't have Josh Allen, I think I'm going to want to have at least one of those tertiary receivers other than Diggs on the Bills.
Yeah,
great vocab word. Tertiary.
Don't play this guy in Words with Friends.
It was like his the calendar that has word of the day. That was his word of the day.
He's like, gotta fit it into a sentence at least once.
But you're not playing. I don't think you play Trevor Siemian unless that first game shoots out and you don't have any of it, and then you need to get some lower ownership.
If you need to flip things late on, that'd be the way to go with it. Cole Beasley still has those broken ribs, or not broken, but they're bruised. He played last week against the Colts. So I do like the Gabriel Davis call there at 3,600. But between Sanders and Cole Beasley, I'm leaning more Sanders just for the fact that it is revenge game for Sanders.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley's banged up, and Sanders has, I think, a higher ceiling than Beasley. With that being said, running backs, if Ingram, well, we know Kamara is most likely out. Ingram,
he's out. He's not playing.
Okay, so and then Ingram is
banged up.
His knee, it looks like.
The thing about Ingram too is I liked him a lot more when Taysom wasn't like it isn't probably going to play as much as he is today, because Taysom's going to probably vulture a lot of his red zone.
Oh yeah, for sure. But with Tony Jones Jr., first of all, he probably has the swaggiest DraftKings picture with him and his red hair. He's wearing his spectacles. He's but I know the game was out of hand when he first played against the Packers, but he went 11 for 50. So I know
he's good. He's good.
Not bad. And he's coming off of injury. He hasn't played in 5 or 6 weeks or whatever it might be. But
I just saw his picture. Yeah. Not even Rex.
He's got
just
12
straight up glasses.
He's got 12 fantasy points the entire season.
Well, I know
he's been injured.
Yeah, he was on
what do
IR.
you mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I do like that call. I mean, obviously you saw. I mean, I'm not comparing Tony Jones Jr. to JT, but I mean, you saw what the Colts did, and the Saints do have a pretty decent offensive line.
Except our left tackle and right tackle might be out. So,
well, I mean,
I like the Ty Montgomery play here.
I actually looked at that one. It's if Ingram's out, I would only consider him if Ingram is actually out, because he's like, isn't he 3K at the receiver position? And he's at the receiver position too.
Yep.
So and he would probably get a few rushing attempts. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
No, that's a showdown play.
You're digging deep.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I actually don't hate it as a pure punt. But Jawan Johnson at 2.6 of the tight end, I would only use him in a lineup where if you really have, I don't know, if you're really playing with Josh Allen, I probably only put him in a Josh Allen lineup. If you're playing a bunch of the higher priced guys and you only have a little bit of money left, he's probably the best sub 3K guy, because he's going to be the tight end for the Saints.
Yeah. Okay. So because we've kind of stirred off moved off the path here. So plays from this game. We all are in agreement with Emmanuel Sanders at 4,800.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Yeah, I think he's our favorite for the Bills side. Josh Allen, I mean, at 7,800, I don't think we really touched enough on it. If he's really the MVP of this year, he needs this game this got to be a game where he puts up 450 and 4 and maybe rush in. And so
what's his projected ownership?
He'll be probably the highest owned right now. It's at
over Dak.
Yeah. And Dak will be probably really close to him if Lamb's in. But if Lamb's out, Allen will easily be the highest owned at over 30%.
So I think what we're looking at right now, I do think it's this game. I mean, unfortunately, PB, there's not many good plays on the Saints side.
I know.
So, but everyone seriously monitor, going Wednesday, Thursday morning, make sure you check to see what the running back status is for the Saints, because if Tony Jones Jr. is in, he should really be in most of your lineups, just as price tag alone. So
yeah, I would probably play him in 50% or more at least. I would, whatever the field's at, I'd probably come in over. And it would be, this is one of those things that later the news, the better. I'm hopefully it's right before the first game, so I can get him in. Because the thing is, if you play running backs in the earlier games and he's not announced till later, you can't even pivot onto him. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it might be better to maybe play only one of the two running backs I guess you have the flex spot too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if playing Montgomery and Swift, but because I like Montgomery so much, that means I wouldn't be able to play that much Swift, even though I still like him.
All right. Well, let's help everyone out here and let's build our lineup. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna build a lineup.
Yeah. So can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's on DraftKings. Perfect. All right. So with us starting out, Zeke being
Start at the quarterback.
Yeah. All right. We'll start with quarterbacks. PB, let's let you. I feel like you never get to start out here. So let's get you with your pick.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Yep.
All right. Nick.
Give me Waller if we're going with Carr.
All right.
Yeah,
So we're at
gotta do that.
5,300.
Let's see these running backs here.
Running backs.
Yeah. Oh man. Do we think that with this Carr Waller stack that Josh Jacobs has any value?
Yeah, I do. I like it a lot.
Okay. Let's throw Jacobs in there.
Whew. All right. So, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just get the defense out of the way right away. I am going to lean probably the Bears, right?
Right now, ownership wise, it looks like the Cowboys will be the lowest owned, then the Saints, then the Raiders, then the Lions. Bears looks like it'll be
The highest.
Bears and Bills will be the highest. I don't know. Lions are pretty cheap.
All right.
I could definitely see the lines being a play here.
All right, let's go Lions just for their price tag. It gets us up to 5,800.
Andy Dalton could put up like 150. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's get Renfro in there.
Oh Jesus. Do we just want to play everyone from the
I told you the running back, wide receiver, tight end.
I know we talked about it. Just
and then we're probably gonna want to get 1 to 2 Cowboys for sure.
Yeah,
okay.
I was gonna say either.
Okay.
Give me David Montgomery.
Yeah,
I think he's a really good play.
Gotta get him in there.
All right, so
let's see what
5,900.
Yeah, let's see what Gallup looks like in there.
Gallup.
Corey.
So we talked about maybe needing a very low owned receiver, and I love the revenge game status. So I'm gonna go
Manny.
Yeah, Manny Sanders at 4,800. I think that's just so. I know he's had bad games, but this price tag just doesn't make sense for a team that's so pass heavy. So,
all right, so we have 1 spot left.
Yeah, we're down to our flex position. So
Pollard
at our flex.
Yeah.
If we go Pollard at flex, we can definitely go like.
No, we can leave. That leaves 1,500. That's good.
You want to like
you could also be picky on defense.
That's what I was going to say. Upgrade that defense.
Yeah, Paul, because I think with the 4 Raiders, you want probably 2 Cowboys. Pollard I think is still a really good leverage play, and he'll be really under-owned, especially with Zeke playing. And I think Zeke has a high injury risk mid-game, and even if Zeke plays the whole game, I think Pollard could vulture.
All right. Well, this only makes sense to play the Buffalo Bills here since we're not playing any Saints.
Yeah, no, you're right. And we still leave 800.
Yeah. So it's a very chalky, well, not chalky lineup. I wouldn't say, well, no.
We didn't go with any of the top guys. We didn't go Zeke, Diggs.
Yeah,
we stayed got middle.
This is, and we leave 800. This is a pretty. Pollard's our biggest leverage in that lineup, and Pollard and Sanders and Jacobs, and Carr. Carr is going to be like, around 20%, nothing crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is crazy. So we'll see how that lineup does. I will bite the bullet and I'll throw it in with my, into one of my plays this week since, the bank.
I can't bet here in New Mexico. So I'll definitely be making one of those lineups.
Wait, you can't, is DFS not legal there?
DFS you can, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But, I can't bet spreads and stuff, so I'll definitely throw one of this lineup in.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much does it. We have no more games there. We were talking about this being a shorter episode, but here we are.
Yeah, it's because we had to do both sides of DFS and betting.
Heavy rambling.
Yeah, a little more rambling. But hopefully you guys have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll see you. Well, we still have to go over the main slate, so we'll do that in another video.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Watching. Hopefully you guys win some money.
Happy feast week.
Like and subscribe. Happy
like
Thanksgiving.
And subscribe. Always forget that.
And then also, if you want to tag one of us in your big winnings this week, let us know.
Yeah. We want to see how you did.
All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.